Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luke of Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Nightwing News. Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And today we'll be covering New Titans 97 through 99. Plus we have a little bit of new news, so. New Nightwing news. So, got it all. Something new. It's crazy.
I mean, I'd say I know the news you're talking about, but we can't forget the sad news.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody probably already knows by now.
What?
I said even though everyone probably already knows by now. It's very widely covered.
All right. So, yes. Well, the good news, yes, we do. So we have heard the final arc of Young Justice Phantoms this season. Nightwing's coming in. So, as much as I've been complaining, I guess they saved the best for last.
How many episodes do you think are left? I was thinking maybe only like 3, but maybe it's 5.
I don't think it's 5. Hold on.
We just watched episode 21. So it'd be like 22, 23, 24.
Was it? Let me see. I got my app open where I track all my shows. Oh, this week looks like it's going to be episode 22. Oh, okay. So 1, 2, 5. It is 5 more episodes.
Okay, they are going to 26. I couldn't remember if past seasons had been 26 or if
I don't remember, but yep. So guess we'll get 5 episodes of Nightwing. So
that makes sense because I feel like it would be kind of hard to. I don't know. It feels like they have a lot going on. It would be a lot to finish it in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I guess they do usually do 26 episodes. Okay. The first season was 26, so I'm going to assume all of them were. Well, no. Season 2 was only 20.
Yeah. Well, the only ones that really... Well, what did they go?
3 was 26, though.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say... And then 4 was on HBO Max, right? So I was going to say, once they hit HBO Max, I'm pretty sure they were doing 26.
Yeah, 3 was on HBO Max, wasn't it? Or was 3 on...
I can't remember. Did we... how many seasons did we get before that long hiatus?
Well, yeah, no, I think 3 was either on HBO Max. No, 3 was probably on DC Universe.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
That was part of... That was one of the big things.
I think I could, yeah.
That they brought Young Justice back.
So I'm sure we'll give you up-to-date updates on that. I'll try to... I didn't watch last week. I'm almost caught up. I just haven't watched last week's yet, so...
Oh, yes. See, that's why I said... Because I almost texted you. I think Nightwing's coming because at the end... Zatanna says, I need a detective. And I was like, oh, that means Nightwing.
Well, I'll have extra time to watch because next week's the new issue, so. Okay, so the sad news, were you talking about the free comic book day issue of Dark Crisis?
No, I didn't see it. No, the sad news is that George Perez died.
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting. Yeah. Sorry. I talked this already, so I always forget who I talked to who about. Yes, George Perez. Yes, legendary Titans artist, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, Marvel and DC. I mean, name me a Marvel or DC character that man did not draw. He was the master of the groups. Titans, Crisis. I always marvel at Crisis on Infinite Earths In 1985, in those 12 issues, he drew every character in DC Comics at that time.
Which was a lot.
Yeah, and it still looked beautiful,
Yeah. And shortly before he died, obviously there were lots of articles, retrospectives and stuff. And I saw one that was about, it must have come from 13th Dimension or something, because both lists had 13 on them. And it was like top 13 costumes George Perez drew and top 13 characters George Perez drew. And Dick/Nightwing was number 2 on both lists.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the Nightwing costume, Disco Wing, yeah, was number 2. Only the Deathstroke, and apparently there's somebody he drew for Marvel that has kind of a similar costume that's orange and blue. I forget now. Those 2 were number 1. Nightwing was 2, and then in the list, drawing Dick Grayson was number 2, and Wonder Woman was number 1.
I wonder if it was Taskmaster, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. No, what happened in the Free Comic Book Day? Free Comic Book Day is not a good day for me. It's always graduation.
I know. I was lucky I was able to swing by. It wasn't even my regular store. It was a different comic shop. Well, the thing that pertains to Dick Grayson is there was like a what page? 1, 2, 3. There was like a 5-page story where Dick basically just gives the eulogy for the Justice League because they're quote unquote dead.
That's sad.
Yeah, so there was like a big gathering outside the Hall of Justice, like all the remaining heroes and a bunch of just regular people. Yeah, and that's Dick on stage giving the eulogy.
I assume it says Nightwing, right? It's too
yes, as Nightwing, okay. Yeah. The last thing on the last page there. Remember that little that small preview I gave you? That
was from that. Oh, okay.
That's the last thing. Yeah, because he's given the montage and a lot of, like I said, it's only like 5 pages, but they just do like montages like this and stuff.
That looks good. It looks like we got some quality Disco Wing in there.
Oh yeah, and first page as he begins his eulogy, guess what they have on the first page?
Cowardly criminals are superstitious slut.
Yes,
you swear to never swerve from the path of justice.
Yes. The oath by candlelight. Yes.
Nice. I don't know. I might have to have you take pictures of those for me, Phil, so I can see it.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you think I should read it?
I don't know. I mean, how long is it? How many words are there?
I mean, it shouldn't take. It won't take long. But
okay, read it, Phil. Yeah, let me hear it.
All right. But yeah, I don't know if this is from Dark Crisis. It says Dark Crisis 1 sneak peek, but yeah, it's it. Okay. This is.
Oh yeah, maybe it's it. Maybe that's true. Maybe it'll be in the main edition.
Yeah, but I mean, this has been out a few days. All right, so this is Dick Grayson. Even though we operated in the dark, it all started with a light. That's where the candle's at. After my parents died, my whole world had gone dark and I felt so lost. But then I took an oath to honor my parents' memory and the legacy Batman had created. From that light, I watched our world grow. There were aliens, Amazons, gods, people from under the sea, super scientists, and space cops, all trying to help the world be the best it could be. I saw the generations come together with sidekicks, new faces, and new backgrounds, all with a mission to not only bring justice, but also a hope that shined brighter than any candle ever could. But the darkness is still there. That's when we get a flash of him on stage. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Aquaman, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter. You could never question what they stood for, what they meant to the world. I know to so many of you here today, they were more than just mentors. They were fathers, mothers, friends, family. There will be hard days ahead of us, but I promise you, if we work together, hope will fuel the light that pushes us through this darkness, just as that candle did the day I took my oath. And as long as we continue to fight and keep these candles burning, the Justice League's legacy will live on.
Very nice.
Yes. So, I was looking for it's probably Joshua Williamson, I think. I think he would.
It's weird they say Jon Stewart though, and not Green Lantern. I mean, I really just Green Lantern, but that like totally.
I guess just so you know, because you say Green Lantern could be. I mean, there's at least like 6 human Green Lanterns, so it's like.
Wait, okay, so who'd you say again? So did Flash die, or is he okay?
Barry Allen supposedly died with the League. Yeah, Wally's still running around, but yeah,
okay.
Supposedly Barry's gone.
Okay. And Cyborg is not in the league anymore, so he's okay.
Yeah, no, he's fine. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Aquaman, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter.
Okay, but Superman, yeah, right. Okay, so the big three, a Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and Hawkman, and who was the other one?
Martian Man. Did I say? Yeah, did you say Martian
Manhunter?
Manhunter?
Martian Manhunter.
It's basically the 7 from the Justice League animated series and Green Arrow and Black Canary. So.
Oh, Black Canary's on there too. Okay.
Yeah. And the only one who escaped their fate, the man with plot armor, because he has a movie coming out, Black Adam.
Is he in Justice League right now?
Yes, Ben is in Justice League. Yeah, but supposedly he escaped what killed the others. So, yes, he got thrown to Earth so he could tell Wally West and John Kent the Justice League are dead. But yeah, a lot of this is just set up for Dark Crisis #1. But there's a decent story in the beginning where Wally takes down Clayface. But yeah, so they're like, and then later on, what is it? John Kent and who is he talking to? John Kent and Wally are like fighting off all these like villainous groups. They're like, none of the big guys are making moves, but like all these idiots like Cobra and all those other ones are like, all these little terrorist groups are like trying to make moves on the world, but so something's going on. But yeah,
I'm sure they'll figure out pretty soon though that like they're not really dead.
Oh no, you don't think they're gonna keep Batman dead?
No. I mean, it seems like it seems like they're trying even less for us to be convinced that he's dead.
Yeah, no, yeah.
There's no talk about who's like none of the Robins are filling in as Batman, right? Like
no. Yeah, and like even like in the main monthly books, most of those like aren't. I don't know if they're even going to be affected. Like Batman, they're already talking about the next writer who's coming on in like the next issue or two. So it's like,
oh, so Batman is still going to be in Batman. So like he's only dead in Justice League.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless it catches up a couple months down the line. Yeah, as of right now, issue 125, a new writer takes over. So.
Interesting. So, like in the Nightwing book, Dick doesn't have to be sad that Bruce is dead because he's not dead. But in the Dark Crisis, he has to be sad. Fascinating.
Yeah. See.
Well.
And cool. Like I said, the checklist goes to December, kids. So yes, that wackiness will be going on the rest of the year. Me and Loaf will keep you up to date also on Unlimited Justice. So we're going to cover everything. All right, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else, but I don't know. But yeah, George Perez. That's what I was saying the other day. I'm like, yeah, I mean, known for so much work, but it's like he didn't create Dick Grayson, but he was the first person to draw him as Nightwing.
Yep.
So there's history there, kids. Creator of the disco wingsuit.
That's right. I mean, George and Marv are co-credited for creating Nightwing. And I mean, they're also co-credited for creating Raven and Cyborg and Starfire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they both had input, but George is the man who actually put, pencil to paper. And
oh, yeah, no, I know. I mean, they're both credited as
yeah.
Co-creators. Because, I mean, I don't know. I always got the sense that Bob Kane, took credit for Batman because he was like, I wrote Batman, not because he drew Batman.
Oh yeah, no, and then they even said Bill Finger even had so much input on that, but it took until a few years ago for that to even come out. People didn't want to share credit. I'm glad Marv and George got along. All right, so speaking of, at least Marv, should we get to the issues tonight?
Yeah, look at this. I got it in floppy, Phil.
Oh, I do too, but I was too lazy to get them out, so I'm just reading them on the app.
This means I get to tell you what some of the letters are saying.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's like several different things going on. I feel like we should mostly focus on the Nightwing stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was looking for synopses for these. I don't have any, so yeah, we can just go through them and talk about some Nightwing stuff.
Because they're kind of depressing.
Wait till next week.
Darkening begins here.
And once again, kids, we're on the road to they're gonna take Dick out of this book and stick him back in the bad book. So
yeah, because since I have this as the floppies, there's advertisements in here for Nightfall.
mm-hmm.
So like this is as Nightfall was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, why did we have to bring the whole thing crashing down on Dick and even the just the what we do this week and next week, then the Dick and Corey. It's just like you could have they could have just like Dick could have just left, or they could have broken up amicably. You could have did it. I guess there's no drama in that.
Yeah, because clearly they like the soap opera stuff. So because all right, you've got Cyborg goes and steals Dayton's Mentos helmet so that he can try to Mentos is the candy. So that he can try to help fix Cyborg because Cyborg has gotten messed up again.
Beast Boy, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have his memories like he needs. And then we go to Dick and Corey at the video store. That's super 90s, good times. And yes, we're still dealing with that Mirage crap.
Yeah, at this point I think it's fairly recent, but
yeah, I know I have the article, the issue where it is, but yeah, it's so weird and awkward. I mean, because this is obviously the kind of thing that doesn't. I mean, shapeshifters aren't real, so you can't know. So talking about it, I don't want to trivialize, what happens to people who are sexually assaulted in real life, because it's not like anyone's actually been. But I mean, I suppose you could. I mean, I feel like I've probably read in an advice column that somebody was tricked into having sex with the wrong identical twin or something creepy like that, because some people are just not nice. But
oh yeah, or there's stories of just someone saying there's somebody they're not, just yeah.
But it's like this is really, I mean, like it's very 90s. I mean, by nowadays we would all be like, I can't believe that she did that, and basically
yeah
because you had
I mean
you thought she had sex with you under false pretenses. You thought you were having sex with your long-term girlfriend, and instead it was her looking like it. And I mean, I don't know, of course, how I'd react, because it's not as though I'm ever going to be in this position. But it's like, I don't know. It just feels like they don't, like, it's very 90s. They don't understand that this is assault, and also that they're just trying to up the drama by just making Corey continually be mad and be like, I know everything about you. I wouldn't be fooled by a copy. I mean, that's just really not good. I mean, it just feels very much like blaming the victim.
It's for a relationship drama, and it's like, she was betrayed, but one, Dick didn't mean to do it on purpose, and two, Dick was the one who was physically violated. And
I mean, they were both betrayed. They both. I mean, that was a really terrible thing that Mirage did, and it's all on her.
Exactly. And again, Dick was the one who actually physically had to go through this, this assault. And I was in and out on Titans in this era, so he's not wearing a disguise, or it's just because, we were seeing how, like, bad things are getting for him. Because I'm like, wasn't he always wearing a disguise beforehand when he was out in public with her?
Yeah, I think Yeah, because when he goes to see Mirage, when he goes to see Corey and it turns out it's Mirage, he's like a redhead or a blonde with a mustache or something. I think he's maybe like one of Corey's many that like people think she has many boyfriends or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this and that. Yeah,
And-
but
And the other thing, like Corey's blaming him, and yeah, again, I know it's the '90s, and again, it was a part of her culture. But wasn't she the one who was like in the like getting an arranged marriage and stuff?
yeah, he mentions that in the third one that we read. So yeah, it feels like two things. One, they really need to soap opera it up, and two, it's the early '90s, and we don't have. Because if this were switched around, I feel like if Mirage had pretended to be Dick and Corey had sex with her, then hopefully they wouldn't have done this same thing. But it's still it's still very unacceptable.
Unfortunately, we're like in the early mid '90s. So again, I think again, '90s comics were weird like this, but two, I think we're in an era where a lot of people are just like, oh, you can't rape a man.
Right. No, it definitely, you really see it's definitely a cultural thing. And I think they're also playing into the stereotype of, oh, women are so emotional, and stuff. And like, yes, Corey uses her emotions for her powers, but it's not illogical. I mean, it's not illogical. I mean, the way she used her
but
emotions is, like happy thoughts make you fly,
She just keeps coming back to, oh, hey, why didn't you know it wasn't me? Why didn't you know it wasn't me? And again, it's like, do we know the full extent of Mirage's powers? Could they even like work on like the mind? Maybe could she like have like even hypnotized? I know she can make physically alter her appearance, but is there some kind of
right? And I guess the thing is, it's like they know. I think they knew by that time that Mirage could be a shapeshifter, but at the same time, like, why would you ever think why would that cross your mind? That I mean, if it looks like if you knock on the door to your girlfriend's apartment and a person who looks like your girlfriend opens the door, wouldn't you just think that that's your girlfriend?
Yeah, and as long as she doesn't say anything totally, like out of like, oh, Corey would never say that. Yeah, you probably wouldn't suspect,
Yeah, it's very tedious. It's very unnecessary drama, and it's very '90s that it's like everybody is.
Yeah, it's '90s. They wanted to drive a wedge between them, so he's leaving, and I think she even goes back to Tamaran after this. But couldn't they have parted as friends and not done?
I mean, they kind of, I don't know. I feel like later on they kind of.
Oh yeah, I mean they
try to make it a little more amicable, but yeah, it's just like kind of gross.
Well, I think it doesn't help. I mean, doesn't it seem like they like write him like he's almost kind of in the middle, like a nervous breakdown too, almost.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
Yeah, this is not helping either. Yeah.
Well, and of course he could partially not be doing well because he feels violated and everybody's acting like it's his fault.
Trauma, yes. Exactly.
So these are not the best issues. They're very '90s.
Well, Corey's blaming him. I don't think anyone else is really bringing it up except Panther, but not in a good way.
Panther kind of started it.
Yeah, but then he goes, he's not.
But he's not doing well because he hits the. See, and the people are like, Playboy sleeps with girlfriend's twin and doesn't know it.
Yeah, they say Playboy, so they must know who Dick is then.
Yeah, he says, "I'll sue you, Grayson." Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting.
But yeah, then it's like he goes back to his apartment. I mean, it wasn't he paying for it? Like he shouldn't be surprised if
unless he forgot about it because I guess he lives.
I don't know.
But yeah, the super's like, oh, you haven't paid your rent, and he just threw all his stuff out. And then he's like, and then he calls Alfred to say, hey, can I borrowed Bruce's apartment in Manhattan for tonight, and I guess Alfred must say he loaned it to some redhead.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's Bruce Wayne, couldn't or even Alfred couldn't he be like, you know what? Let me rent you a room in a hotel room for the night, at least,
Yeah, but again, they're really really trying. They're really trying to break him down.
I know, or at least, hey, come home.
Right. Yeah. And then we get, well, we're not supposed to know who this is yet, right?
I guess not. Yeah, and this mysterious figure coming to
eat a soul.
Elizabeth Alderman. The mayor's name is Alderman.
Convenient.
I know.
And so then he's meeting with Roy, formerly known as Speedy.
Dressed so much like a Fed.
Super like a Fed. He's a man in black now.
And of course, we get a mention of Justice League Task Force, which we'll have to cover the first 4 issues of that someday because Dick's in that. So
yeah, I just went back and read it actually.
Oh, did you? I haven't read it in a while. So yeah.
Yeah, it was actually kind of weird because they've definitely changed up smooth continuity out a little bit because a lot of the people in Justice League Task Force were like, who this Nightwing guy? Like, he's such a grandstander. Like, they kind of didn't want to work with him and acted like they didn't really know who he was.
I know, yeah. I remember that much. It's been a while since I read it, but yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's how it was in the early 90s, and then they kind of like smoothed over continuity. We're like, wait a second, all these people would actually already know him.
I mean, I can see him nothing else be like, oh, we haven't worked with him in many years. Unless people don't know he was Robin. I don't know.
No, that's true.
So yeah.
Anyway, I do kind of remember from the Wildebeest stuff, a lot of the city got destroyed, and so Roy's like, basically the government wants to shut you down.
Yeah. Dick, we pay our taxes. And Roy's like, don't ignore this. It's not going to go away. Congress is considering investigating all superhero organizations. Nobody said this to me, but I believe the end goal is to shut you all down. You have powers they don't possess. Yeah, the destruction caused here scares them. They're afraid of you. And Dick's like, wait a minute. We didn't do anything. Our enemies attacked us. And Roy, it's not logic. It's human fear. And of course, Dick's getting angry.
Because this has not been a good day.
So he's like, if you don't cooperate, Congress could pass laws. And Dick tells them, tell them where they can stuff those laws. If they don't know, I'll draw them a map. Oh yeah, Dick brings up the Quark thing, which it happened in Deathstroke the Terminator. Long story short, let's just say Cheshire dropped a nuclear bomb over there. So yeah.
Oh, that's when that happened. Okay. They mentioned that in the Inheritance novel.
Yes, that's why they could be cracking down. Yes. So.
I see.
On this time, yes.
Well, but then this helps because again, it's been a while since I read this, but this helps explain also why they have Roy take over the Titans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that what happens in a couple issues?
Oh, yeah, but is it after 101? I know we're doing 100 101 next week, but if not by 101, not too long after that, Roy takes over. But he's like, Nightwing, they want all the Titans records. They want all your papers, all the bank account numbers.
You're like, who's gonna? No one. Do not give Congress your bank account numbers. That's like right up there with 419 Nigerian prince scam. Please,
exactly.
Bank account numbers. Like, no, Congress has no business asking for that.
And besides personal bank numbers, I mean, they don't have like a Titans bank account, do they? Isn't it Steve Dayton covering everything at this point?
I think so. That's why Steve
Dayton
is getting mad at him.
Because Because is the tower destroyed again? Because I know once Roy takes over, I think they get a new headquarters and everything. At least eventually.
But yeah, so here, all right, then I'm jumping to the letter columns because people are kind of like getting annoyed with this Mirage stuff. But this person says, I was also infuriated by Nightwing's reaction to Mirage's abuse of her powers. It's only now when Mirage's actions are finally adversely affecting him, and not just Corey, that he's getting angry with the shape-shifting witch. Considering what Mirage has done to both of them, Starfire has every right to blast her into oblivion and also give Dick a piece of her mind. I think that happened in issue 94.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, we don't, yeah, I mean, if unless it was like in another issue, we don't see her getting in Mirage's face. That's who should be hearing about it.
Yeah, people are like, can we have enough of this Mirage Dick stuff? Mirage Dick Corey, people are getting over it.
You could tell this is a dark storyline because Dick's wearing Kristen's least favorite Nightwing costume.
I know he's been wearing that one since the mid 80s. Like the mid 80s is in the number, not the 80s.
Yeah.
All right, so then somebody's trying to steal a soul.
Oh yeah.
In the park. It turns out it's the alderman. We also see Panther eating a pigeon.
Oh yeah, we're in the issue 98 now, kids. So I'm trying to remember. So is Panther going more animal because she's like running around the park naked?
Yeah, and then she sees the thing with the D for Dayton Industries, and she's like, "Is he the one that turned me into this?"
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why she goes back, because she wants to figure out.
I just wonder too if it doesn't help too, because it's like a lot of Dick's, a lot of his closer friends aren't around because when we see at the mansion, Corey's not there. Beast Boy's off, trying to help Cyborg.
Donna's not around in these issues.
There's no Donna, no Wally. So I'm trying to remember if Donna might have lost her powers at this point, because I know if not now, pretty soon she's going to join the Dark Stars because, they give her a suit that gives her powers. And because I know at that point she's like, I don't have any powers.
Okay, that's where she goes when she leaves Titans. I never knew what happened.
Yeah. Because Will and I were doing some of those for the Green Lantern podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. She loses her powers, becomes a Dark Star. Then the Dark Stars get taken down. Then she starts dating Kyle Rayner until, like, there's a car accident and Terry and their son are killed. So then I think that leads into Wonder Woman. Some villain, I think, tries to erase her from existence. And then that leads into, like, that Devin Titan series. Yeah.
I was going to say, because that was like early 2000, like 99, early 2000s.
Yeah.
All right. So, then Panther is again.
But yeah, Panther's just giving Dick crap because she's just like, oh yeah, I see Corey all over the news, with like different guys. I guess she's taking the breakup real bad.
Then she's like, has anyone seen Corey? And she's like, yeah, she was under. He's like, shut up, Panther. Fair.
She's going out with everyone shy of Bill Clinton. And then
and that's when Steve Dayton calls.
Yep. It's like, get over here. And of course Dick's like, we don't work. Tell him we don't work for him. But they do go over, and Dick's still like, I want to know where Corey's at. Meanwhile, she's dancing with some guy at a club.
Trying to get their autograph. I like their little, can you sign this comic? Their little teeny Titans.
Yeah, but then some
little picture, the little way they draw Nightwing on the bottom of that one is super cute. But then we do get a little sense of, I'd kind of forgotten partially why
Oh yeah.
Corey's so mad at Mirage. I'd kind of forgotten this, but Mirage turned herself into Corey and posed naked for some stuff.
Yes. So I mean, Corey's been violated too. So I think a lot of that, yeah, she's lashing out at Dick because she has all this anger at Mirage. Yeah. Because some guy.
Yeah, definitely lash out at Mirage. Yeah, she's
because that's not a creepy move. Here, sign your nude magazine. Shoot.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Mirage is really not a good person.
Oh no. And like she was still on the team for a while. I'm like, really? I'm like, I know Roy takes over, but Roy, you don't like ship her off, you know?
Again, I guess it's one of those 90s things that it's like, oh, you have this character, you shouldn't be that mad that she violated all your guys' boundaries and trust in all these ways. Just
I mean, rape, identity theft,
yeah.
What, does she have to kill somebody? But then we see another shadowy figure. Well, some shadowy figure's butt show up at the club.
So many emotions. So little time.
But then, yeah, we see what's left of the Titans show up to talk to Steve Dayton. Oh, the guard. Oh, my son's got the complete collection of your toys. Dick, does everyone not talk about those stupid action figures? We never should have signed that contract.
No, I feel like in more recent times, I guess it depends on the group he's in, because like that seems like a very Batman thing to say. I think they'd be more okay with it sometimes, but also probably not because it came.
Yeah, well, I think we're painting his like mindset because Dick would usually be more chipper. Yeah, this is. Yeah, Dick's still suffering mentally.
Yeah.
Oh, and they see Roy at Dayton Labs. And Dick's like, "What's he doing here?"
But even if Dick is not quite at his best, he's still able to very quickly figure out why would Gar take the helmet. Of course, because he thinks it might be able to help Vic.
Yes, but there's villains who want it.
Right, but
yeah.
And I was like, well, now we know why he came in. Yes, then we see the villains trying to beat him up.
But yeah, Steve Dayton's mad. She's like, I've been footing the legal bills for you guys. But yeah, then we see Beast Boy's getting beat on by plasmas. Oh, and the other, what is it, Brotherhood of Evil.
And then someone that looks like Rita Farr shows up.
Yep. Knocks him out.
Here we go. This is funny. Talking about 95, somebody says, does the press know that Nightwing is Dick Grayson, or are they too stupid to realize it? The answer, they are too stupid to realize it.
Again, I mean, I guess people could be like, oh, pampered playboy, he wouldn't be able to be a superhero.
Also, here's what's cracking me up. People are saying, what I liked. Nightwing's hair, don't change it. Ew, what? No.
I know, it looks sloppy in these stories.
It is 290s. Also, somebody else says what I would like to see. Dick and Corey left alone. No more Mirage, please. So then they reply, okay, Mirage will leave Dick and Corey alone. We'll just have someone else give them trouble. Dun, dun, dun.
So I guess we get to 99. And they spoil it on the cover of 99. Yes, Roy becomes Arsenal.
Da-da-da!
Yep.
That is a super 90s costume and really is not the best of his. Roy does not really strike me as a purple person.
Yeah, and it's 90, so it's like, you got his like upper arms and his armpits exposed.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, George Perez wasn't here to design his costume, so he got what he got. Yeah, we see the Brotherhood of Evil just working on Gar. And they're like, boy, it's weird. It took a bunch of us to take down Beast Boy. That never happened before.
They're realizing that's not Rita Farr.
Yep, as she throws him like in the river. But I guess not all. They don't know it's not Rita Farr because even the Brotherhood of Evil's like, I don't sense anything from her. When did she get force beam powers?
Didn't it's someone else. Dun dun dun.
Who is it?
And then Steve Dayton is freaking out. Because Nightwing's like, we know why he wants the helmet. We don't need to go chasing him. We just need to wait.
No, Steve Dayton, why don't you put out an APB? I'd be like, we're not the cops. That's what Nightwing even says. We're not the police. And anyway, we don't have to find him. He'll come to us. We know he took the helmet to help revive Vic. I've already alerted Star Labs to monitor him. If Vic is moved, it will trip a signal to seal the room. Car won't be able to escape. And then he's like, if you don't mind, I have to find Corey. Put your hormones back in your pants. Then Steve Dayton's telling me, yeah, you don't leave till we find that helmet. But then Panther thinks this is our opportunity. She's like, oh yeah, let me see your files. And he's like, wait a minute, no.
Right, yeah, because she wants to know if he's the one that made her Panther. And Nightwing's like, which seems kind of reasonable. I mean, like, work smarter, not harder kind of thing. If you know where Beast Boy's going to go. I mean, yeah, they should be looking for him since he got thrown in the river. But they're obviously stretched a little thin at the moment.
Yeah, but Dick's like, you know what? I'll go look for Corey, and when we get the signal, I'll come back. Steve Dayton's like, no, you don't. He's like, it's basically like, you owe me. I've been housing you guys, feeding you. Damn it, Nightwing, you owe me. And Nightwing's like, he's like, no. He's like, I'll forget you said that. He's like, if I was gonna know, this, you're gonna hold this over our heads, we never would have stayed with you.
Don't try to blackmail us.
Exactly.
Then we hear Nightwing put him down, and boom.
Yep, Roy comes in his new costume. Speedy, are you working for Dayton now? No, and just availing myself of his technology. I'm no longer Speedy. I don't just play with bows and arrows. I'm now Arsenal.
I mean, I will say, I know then for a while he became Red Arrow. I do think Arsenal is his best name.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, Red Arrow wasn't until like the mid 2000s when like he actually like joined the Justice League, yeah.
Right, I know. I like Red Arrow's fine. I'm just saying in terms of, I don't know, the like uniqueness, creativity of the name, I feel like Arsenal's the best. It's obviously better than Speedy. And Red Arrow is just like, I mean, come on, we already had a Green Arrow. Like, it's not that creative.
Yeah, no, because they were putting the Justice League back together for like the 50th time. And, they went to Oliver Queen. He goes, no, not me. He says, it's Roy's time. Give it to Roy.
And then Dick's like, all right, I'm out of here. And Roy's trying to like, stay, you don't understand. Harper, don't. Careful, Dayton. I don't work for you either. Government sent you here. That's right. And I answer to them, not you.
And then Warp shows up conveniently after Dick's left. So, Roy takes the others out. So I'm guessing, this is a preview of things to come. Roy leading the Titans. See, that's the other thing. It's like, they're like, oh, yeah, Roy's more fit because he didn't abandon the team. But it's like, again, Dick's been traumatized.
Wait, where do they say he's more fit? He didn't abandon the team.
No, I just think that's how they're trying to paint it. So when Roy takes over, it's like, And again, Dick does need the break. Again, trauma, but
Yeah, I guess I always thought it partially had to do with the government stuff too. That,
the government too. Yeah,
Roy,
yeah. That's one of the excuses the government can use too. It's like, well, look at this lunatic Nightwing. Yeah, we're gonna put Arsenal in here.
Well, and like if they're gonna make the Titans answer to them, then like Dick doesn't want to do that. So yeah, he shouldn't be on the Titans.
Yeah. And again, they almost put together pretty much a whole new team. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, it was definitely, a lot of them had gone, and it was definitely time for Dick to go back to Gotham, because as the Titans kept going, like, it just wasn't as good.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, by the time they get to the one, like, was it like 113, 114? Yeah, like Beast Boy's the only one who's left. Yeah, it's like Arsenal, Beast Boy. Yeah, they bring in Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. They bring in Supergirl. They bring in Impulse. That's what I'm saying. Like, Mirage was still there. I'm like, why is she still there?
I don't know.
It's like I'm sure the government had problems with Nightwing, but they're gonna let Mirage stay. It's like, really?
I mean, it was the 90s, so yeah.
You would think if nothing else, they don't want more hijinks going. With her. I don't know.
Yeah, clearly she abuses her powers.
Exactly.
Okay, we're having a fight. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. As I said, Roy was leading the Titans in this fight, and then Dick goes and finds Corey in this club, this comedy club.
Yeah.
And her date's
I mean, again, it's like a little bit weird. I mean, I guess whatever. He's coming on like a little bit strong.
Yeah. But yeah, Corey's like, we should talk another time. Dick's like, no, now. Because he puts her date on his butt when he says something, and then she blasts him. Why'd you do that? We belong together. You know you're mine. Yeah, it doesn't sound like Dick.
Yeah. I don't belong to anybody.
Oh God, you made your bed with Mirage, and I'll sleep in it. But then later we see Dick shows up in the middle of the night when she's in bed. I've just been crazy. He says, I've just been crazy lately. She says, okay, now you can go. He goes, no, I love you. I need you. She goes, go to Mirage. Obviously need her more than I do.
She obviously needs you more than I do.
Yeah. You can't mean that. Oh, maybe I do. So he comes in and she hits him in the face. I guess, Mirage is wearing a different costume as Corey. Yeah, you're right. She was coming on strong and I liked it. But I thought she was you. What she did repulses me. Thank you. When you had to get married on Tamaran, we had problems because I couldn't accept you with another man. Oh, my morality makes me a one-woman man, and you're that woman. You always will be.
That's why we're all so annoyed when the other person makes him cheat on Corey with Barbara and that terrible annual.
I know. Again, they were just looking for an excuse why he wasn't with either of them. What I'm saying is I love you and I want to be with you forever. Corey, will you marry me? The name brace at the end. Oh. There you go.
Yet somehow, I mean, to a certain extent, it's kind of good the wedding didn't work out, because that's like a terrible time to get married. Like, that's not good at all.
The world's worst proposal.
Yes. Like, we're so messed up. You're mad at me. You've been violated. I've been violated by the same person, but for some reason we're mad at each other, not at that person.
Yes, they're both suffering trauma. It's the worst. She's just standing there with a sheet covering her. Yeah, it's not good. But next, 100, the wedding. Expect the unexpected.
Here's somebody put in. Here's somebody's. Some person wrote in, and this person says, I think Dick is the Rodney Dangerfield of superheroes in DC. Here we have a character who's been around for more than 50 years, who may well be DC's best representation of the aging superhero. After all, we've seen him as a boy, a teenager, a man, and even an older man in 2001, because that was one of the future Nightwing came.
Yeah.
Yet he gets so little press. For example, while the third Robin has been around for almost 4 years, compared to Dick's 54, Tim Drake has already had 3 miniseries and 1 annual. Dick, to my knowledge, hasn't had any solo special. Then I must say, however, that Dick's new suit is awesome. Wrong. Listen, I wasn't crazy about the old costume with its big 70s collar, but the new costume is perfect. So wrong and sad.
I know. I think it's. I don't know if it was around this time or a little before. He was supposed to have a mini series before the first one we actually got, and then I think they canceled it.
I mentioned, which I had forgotten. I like the new suit too, even if it was designed by Mirage. So I guess I'd kind of forgotten. So does Mirage give it to him, or does she give it to him as Corey? And so he thinks it's
maybe, I don't know, but as soon as he found out the truth, he should have went back to the Disco Wing suit.
Oh, right.
Unless that was the only suit he had, I don't know. Yeah, that whole thing was weird.
But it says, so you don't think Dick is getting any respect? Well, neither does he. And that's exactly what we intend to explore in the coming months as Arsenal makes his mark on the Titans and Nightwing deals with it in both New Titans and other books. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yes, we'll wrap this up next week, kids.
Boy.
Issues 100 and 101, but never fear, we will have the new issue of Nightwing next week, so at least we'll have something good. Oh, we should have the at least one episode of Young Justice to talk about with Dick, hopefully.
Well, it'll certainly be interesting.
Oh yeah, I should pull the issues out of storage down there. Yeah, because I believe 100.
Yeah, because issue 100 is special.
Shiny cover. Yeah, so
right.
Yeah, because it's 90s and it's 100. Issue 100.
Yeah, issue 100 of the New Titan. Although I think that means it's like the 100th issue since they restarted the Titans the second time around, right? Because it's like the New Teen Titans goes up through.
Yeah, I don't know, because they had those 2 books going for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it was Tales of the Teen Titans. But then the one that starts with the Terror of Trigon, and like the New Titans once he's already Nightwing.
Yeah,
that's the one that this has started numbering from. That's the one that's 1, and then it goes. Because I think it's right around the Who is Donna Troy, the second version, that when it goes to 50, I think that's when they start calling it the New Titans instead of the New Teen Titans. It's right around issue 50.
Yeah. Yeah, that always confused me. All right. So, anything else on this masterpiece?
It's 290s, and not the good part of the 90s.
And again, I think they're working very quickly to say, oh hey, we got to get Dick out of this book. So, and 2, there might again, maybe we'll get more into this next week, but there may be some last minute decision making going on here because, like Mark Waid told us, they didn't tell him. Because in those Flash issues he did where Dick and Corey show up, supposedly they're married, but
yeah, because on the one hand, they said when somebody asked, can Mirage not bother him, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll have somebody else bother them, and it's going to be evident in issue 100. I was like, so were they already intending to not have them get married, or?
Come on, DC, let's correct a grave injustice. Let's have Dick and Barbara marry Nightwing instead of New Titans 100, Nightwing 100. I mean, come on, let's.
That's coming up in like this year, isn't it? What?
Yeah, so.
That's too fast. That's never gonna happen that fast. You got to milk it.
They teased that Batman thing and then it never happened. That's why they're just like, we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to have a bridal shower, a bachelor party on this show. Come on, if that happens, come on.
bachelorette party so Barbara and all the Batgirls and the Birds of Prey can hang
On this show, Kristen can sit around and drink and be like, remember back in the 40s? I remember.
Yeah, I could do that.
I remember Dickie when he was a boy. All right. Yeah, so I'll pull up the schedule. But yes, next week will be New Titans 100 and 101. So we'll get the I guess the conclusion somewhat of this terrific tale. And then, like I said, the new issue next week. So Nightwing 92.
And then we move on to a different book.
Yeah, After next week, we're off it. Yeah. Oh, in 2 weeks we'll be doing the Injustice stuff that you wanted to do. Yes. But
so I can, but just the first one up until Dick dies. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And then the week after that, we'll come back to we're going to do New Teen Titans games.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, text our. I know you said he's on Twitter. He hasn't responded to you, but DM Tom and ask, "Why'd you have to kill that kangaroo?" My co-host is so sad every time she reads it.
Who? Tom Taylor?
See if he replies.
I know, man. Those Australians are rough on kangaroos. All right, so email get a hold of us, especially if you're Tom Taylor. Email us, CapesandLunatics. CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter, join the Nightwing fan group on Facebook, and also every episode of Nightwing News and everything we do gets a episode on the YouTube channel, full video. So yeah, don't miss a moment of any of it. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
Smash it.
And most importantly, if you can, please subscribe to the Patreon. We're out here paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps. We have no Steve Dayton, but $3 to $5 gets you the exclusive content, early access to creator interviews. Once again, every month, Lilith and I talk to Mr. DG Chichester about one of his comic book works.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And superhero movie brackets. We will find the worst superhero movie of all time. The May episode coming up may interest some of you Nightwing fans. Yes, it'll be Batman Forever versus Batman and Robin. Yes, Dick Grayson is in both of those movies. Well, a version of Dick Grayson.
I already know my answer, but I'm going to watch them again anyway.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure too, but I'm going to have to rewatch them both. All right, so yes, kids. So get all that, or pick yourself up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/CapesandLunatics. And if you got bummed out by the comics this week, go pick up a good literary masterpiece, Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. Pick it up on Amazon. It'll be a great read, especially for you fans of Dick Grayson. I'm trying to remember. Did anybody talk about this in the book? Probably not.
Somebody talked about his relationship with Corey, but I don't believe we specifically referenced this. I don't believe we specifically referenced this disaster.
Yeah. Again, no matter what story we do from now on, I don't think it'll get worse than this. Trying to remember.
No, we have some pretty dire stuff later on.
Yeah, but all right. So, yes, thank you, kids. Again, in 1 week, you're gonna get the worst wedding ever. You thought your cousin's wedding was bad. Wait until you see this wedding next week. Cool. But you do get the new issue, Nightwing 92, which I'm sure will be good.
It shouldn't have any disastrous weddings in it, so that's a start.
And hopefully, yes, a good episode of Young Justice Phantoms with Nightwing finally showing up. So hopefully wrap up the season strong with Nightwing. As Kristen disappears behind the cat.
I'd say I'll just leave this. Just let the cat take over for the end.
Oh, nice ventriloquist act. All right, kids. Come back next time. Same wing time.
Same wing channel.
The Nightwing News. Oh, no, you didn't.